Everyone can see and hear you. Awesome. Okay. It works.
Is that what we're doing? You're holding it.
I'm going to hold it, yeah. Actually, I think it turns this way. There we go, yeah. Turns this way. There we go.
I so overthink these things. When you're on the agency side,
That's
there's lights, there's cameras, there's just like, I never just hack the content. Like, you were talking about this the other day. I was like, I just can't do it. I always have this thing that it reflects.
All right.
It reflects the agency.
Let's see. Ravi, are you there?
But
Let's see. And also, let's see, there's a comments, a chat. Okay, post questions on chat. Proptech.buzz. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Just going in there right now. Oh, there's Ravi. Sweet. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were going to be on stage with me, Ravi, or not, or if I'm going to be solo. So just want to go ahead and see if I can put reach. I was going to try and put reach in the background. That won't really work, will it? No, it's okay. Oh, you know what I can do? I can hold it. I can hold it on my. Okay, there it is. All right. So I'll watch for comments that come up. And then here, let's go ahead and do our first interview. You have to go, or you're here for?
I have to go at 12:30.
Okay, yeah. We'll interview you first. Okay. But here, go ahead and put that on. Stick it right there. It's fine. All right. So we are live from IOI Summit in beautiful Chicago. Let me turn the phone this way. Beautiful IOI Summit. And we've got some great founders and innovators actually here at the Reach booth. So I'll show you. We've got the Reach booth here. IOI, you've got a whole speaking area over here. And people coming in actually from the main hall and the main sessions. So hopefully you can hear me just fine. I'll check in on Ravi to make sure that the audio is clear and great. But we've got a bunch of different founders that have gone through let me break it down. That NAR is the National Association of Realtors, and they have the NAR Reach program. NAR Reach is actually a global program and platform where Second Century Ventures partners up with them. And what they do is they are actually investing in companies, giving them support, giving them resources, and then getting them connected to customers. So they have both a commercial and a residential program. Today at the event, you've got all types of speakers. So there's going to be a great session in a little bit actually going over AI, going over tools to help brokers, tools to help owners, tools to help investors. So what we're going to do is actually meet with a few folks to hear them about their businesses and what they're working on and what they're finding that's really interesting. So first off, you want to go? I'm going to bring you in. All right. So we're live on Proptech Buzz and on LinkedIn Live. And so first off, I want to ask you a little bit about Sherlock Holmes.
Sure.
And it's funny because when I heard about Sherlock Holmes, I'm like, oh, actually, you say it the way that, and you spell it Holmes, Homes.
Right.
There's no L. There's the logo, and your website is trysherlock.ai. Beautiful. Yeah. And awesome. That's all. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the idea, a little bit about your background.
Sure.
You know, feel free to share your full name, so that way make sure people can follow you on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, sounds good. So Spana Hazarika, I'm the founder of a company called Green Ivy Ventures. Sherlock Holmes is the first product that we're working on. Our idea here is to kind of work through different ideas, what people need. And we like to kind of build things in a very iterative fashion. And if it doesn't work, we'll kill it and move on to the next thing. So like responding to customer feedback. And that's a lot of the reason why we're here at the NAR IOI conference. This is like one of the most tech-forward rooms I've ever met in the real estate space, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So for context, before this, I worked at eXp Realty. We rebuilt the entire website, got like 2 million listings, and built up a lot of the traffic that went onto that website. And one of the interesting things that I saw in my time there was that you have this big funnel of leads that show up at the top, and then they kind of whittle down to almost nothing. And then there's some questionable leads that show up when they come to the agent side of the world. So there's a group of people that are looking at real estate that are interested in it, but may not be ready to buy just yet. So how do you better qualify that funnel? So the more I started to kind of think about it, we started thought about how do we find better ways to improve the experience for both consumers and agents, and how do we meet them right in the middle there? So came with the concept of Sherlock Holmes. It's very early stage prototype right now.
Sure.
See how it goes.
I got to see it, and I think it was very cool because you emulate was it Tinder that kind of
That's right.
similar style?
That's right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so it starts off with like a Tinder-like experience where basically you're presented with a set of images and all you do is swipe left or swipe right. Do you like this? Do you not like this? And as you're doing this fun little experience, Sherlock is picking up on little clues of the kind of patterns of what you like, what you dislike, what your preferences are, whether it's in the home, whether it's outside the home, your neighborhood choices, and very quickly generating a profile of what you like. Now that you have that profile, now it's a better way to go search for real estate to be like, what matches your profile? Is this a match because you have these things but not these things? So the idea is that for a consumer, it's a better way to filter down the real estate listings that you typically have access to.
Yeah.
And for the agent, when the customer is ready to talk to an agent, they're getting a better way to take a look at that customer lead, basically, right? They have a profile of what that customer is looking for, interested in, and it's not just like a, is this available type lead.
And I'll ask you, of all the things you saw yesterday, you know, obviously it may connect to your business, but what was maybe something that stood out from one of the speakers or one of the topics in one of your conversations here that you're seeing that's really important? Obviously your business is very important too, but maybe a big problem that you're seeing and what you're excited about.
I mean, there's so much going on, especially with, James Wiggins' session was really interested in like, what does the future of the real estate agent look like? And how do you better balance your time and your money, right? The commission compression might be coming. How do you maybe increase your commission? How do you value proposition? So there's a lot of conversations that I had that are kind of focused on how does AI help you? How do you make it more efficient? How do you not waste your time? How do you spend your time on the right things? So a big part of that was basically how do we take what I heard on stage there, like come up with a better business model and make yourself more efficient and bring that to an agent so that every day, how do you make them every day more efficient? So definitely AI and a lot of the commission stuff and how that all fits together. There's negatives but there's positives that comes out of that too. So blending those two and finding the opportunity ahead is
Yeah, I like that. And it's always so important, you know, how you use something and what your goals are for actually using it. You know, there's a lot of discussion I heard about AI wrappers, right? They're just tools that are actually using ChatGPT. They're not actually building AI in their own system. So, well, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
And again, it's trysherlock.ai. And funny enough, why I'm glad to have you as the first person is we connected through Proptech Bus.
That's right.
That you saw me on Friday on my last.
The app launch, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So very cool in the app launch. So we'll see you in the chat. If you want to go and ask a question.
For sure.
But thanks, and I'll grab the mic for the next person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Yeah. We'll have you on the app again in the future.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. We'll have you guys on. We're gonna have Lisa next. So we have Lisa Nickerson coming on. You want to come over here with me?
Sure.
So we're gonna have Lisa Nickerson pop up. Let me see if actually this will work.
You have to bring it down because I'm so short.
There we go. No,
work?
you're great. Let's see.
Oh,
How's
this
that?
way? This way?
There we go. It's like, kind of backwards. So let's see how that, we're going to try this. And so we've got Lisa Nickerson.
Hey, Chris.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great.
We've been having a good time at the conference.
It's been a great time. So Lisa has a ton of experience in media, marketing, real estate, you name it. Got to know Lisa pretty well. She's now with a company called Infinity.
Yes.
Is it Infinity or Infinity?
It's Infinity. Like, have you ever been in an Infinity room? Actually, where I came up with the idea for the name was from being in the Infinity room. I was in LA, and then I was actually in London, and I was talking to Jim Schoonmaker, the CEO, when we were trying to come up with an idea for this.
Right.
And I said, the amazing thing about the Infinity platform, and I feel like it's cliche and people say this, but there are really infinite possibilities, number one. Number two, if you've ever gone to those places where there is an Infinity room, there's always a long line to get in. And I said, we want people to realize how awesome this is, that they can't wait to get into it, and then realize all the possibilities they have with it. So that's where Infinity came from. It's Infinity with 2 Y's. So. And
what I'm going to do is I'm realizing while we're speaking, give me 1 second. I'm going to
What is Chris doing?
I know, watch
Keeping
this.
us in.
I'm going to try this little sucker for the first time as we're setting up live.
I love how Chris just does this, like live, and
you got to be vulnerable and real. You know, it's like, I've realized I get too focused on having perfectionism. But watch what I'm going to do.
I know nothing about that.
So we've got this little, I got this little thing as a gift from someone. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot today. But okay, so as I'm setting up this contraption, Lisa, you're the CMO, CRO, startup. You're part of the REACH program.
Yes.
So if you can go ahead and tell me a little bit about why REACH. Why are you a part of it? and maybe your ICP for your core customer as well.
Sure. So what's great about the team at Infinity is that they have so much tech experience. Jim Schoonmaker, the CEO, he worked on the original tech that ultimately became Google Street View. So he has really understood how to navigate space far before many others.
Okay.
And then I have 30 years of real estate experience. So I was a commercial broker for a number of years. I've owned a residential brokerage, and I've owned a marketing agency that has served all aspects. Oh, that is so much better, Chris.
Look at that.
Plus, such a better angle,
Cool.
right? For all of my female friends that are watching, isn't that such a better angle?
Yeah.
And so I was able to take all of those years of experience of working on marketing plans for multifamily, retail, office, you name it, across the space. I saw the Infinity platform. I said, this is so amazing. And if you haven't seen it, you need to. It is content agnostic, which I don't know any other platforms that are in the same way.
Yeah.
You can load up your Matterport, pictures from your phone, video, renderings, LCP 360, you name it. And it comes up, and it is now in a gaming style platform. So we could both be on together. You could be at the pool. I could be at the bedrooms. You could be at the kitchen. I could be at the gym. And then we're looking at things together and asking the AI questions as we go, and it's answering. Does this building have a 3-bedroom with a gourmet kitchen? And it answers the question, takes us to it, right? For those of you who aren't as AI tech savvy, because some companies say, well, my targets aren't. We still have commentary at every step of the way. And I remember putting this in because we were marketing a multifamily project, and they had these really cool features, but the pictures just didn't tell the story. But if an agent was walking through, they'd be explaining it. So we created messaging every step of the way. And the other opportunity is that you can text the leasing agent, the sales broker, whomever it is, right there, and they can get it on their phone, respond immediately, meet the client or the prospect where they are. Right?
It sounds like you're like partnering, as you mentioned earlier, like Matterport. So if you're partnering
Sure.
with these other companies,
and just
I mean,
making
you're
it
not the
better.
CRM, you're partnering with CRMs as well.
Yes. Oh,
like fill in the data.
we integrate with Yardi and RealPage and others,
Okay.
so that information is going right in.
Okay.
The AI is summarizing it, so we're getting your information.
Okay.
The leasing agent comes in if they weren't live at the time with them,
Yeah.
and they have a summary of what you asked, what your information is, where you went, where you went in the space. So now you have a qualified lead. So this is something, if anybody has been in sales, they know time kills all deals.
Yep.
Time kills every deal. So when do people look for apartments? When do people look for space? Not during the office hours, generally. 9 to 5 is a big time. You are now capturing the interest of everybody who is looking at your space, and you know they were there. Right now, you don't know if somebody was on Greystar in Boston, Massachusetts. We have some amazing data. 80% of the people that have leased in that space have been in the Infinity Room for 16 to 20 minutes each.
Amazing.
And so, unbelievable conversion.
Because you can bring, I think one of the cool things you mentioned is you can bring a person in from who's in a completely different place, almost like a Zoom room.
Right.
You can tour together. It's
Yes.
another cool feature. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so if people then come to the property live, they literally just want to see one thing and check the box.
Yeah.
But many people are just signing sight unseen because they're able to navigate the entire property and ask all the questions when they want to ask them. Right?
And what stands out, obviously you've gotten to meet the Reach team,
Yes.
Second Century Ventures. So thank
Love
you,
them.
obviously,
Yep.
the Second Century Ventures for having me out, the Reach team for having me out, and National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals for having me out. But I'd love to ask you, with Second Century and Reach, what stands out? Who are you working with there?
Sure.
What's the process look like that you can share? For other
Sure.
founders,
Sure. I've been working a lot, most recently with Duke Long and Laura Millichap. I love working with them because you're able to throw your ideas out and get that immediate feedback from people who are real professionals and seeing it across the board, right? I've always had a line that when you're in the bottle, you can't read the label.
Sure.
So I always like to test with other people what they think and what their ideas are. And then just to have the rest of the cohort who some of their products are actually looking to complement what we do. So we're talking about how we can all work together.
Awesome.
But really it's having those people who know the space, are looking at other market leaders. When Infinity was just chosen, I think there were hundreds that applied, and only 8 were chosen for this cohort. So we were excited to even just be chosen and to be recognized in the way that we are. But yeah, just the information we're getting, the market reach, no pun intended,
Yeah.
and the access to real people who know what's happening.
Make sure I go down here to the chat
Oh.
too, in case there's questions. We're gonna find the right chat. It was interesting last night because I heard from Bob that he said I think there's now 300 companies in the total reach portfolio or second
Yeah,
entry
Bob
portfolio.
Gillespie.
Bob Gillespie, yes. So that's incredible. 300 people, and that's around the world, I think, right?
Yes, and so we actually have a conference coming up of just portfolio companies, and we all get to meet and talk about pain points and challenges. And what I really love about the conference that we're at right now is I just saw the woman from Microsoft AI talking about workplace change too, and the importance of empowering your teams to be willing to try something new and try to incorporate new ideas into what they're doing, rather than saying, oh, I better not make that choice, I could get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Instead, how do you identify really great opportunities, bring them to the table so that we can all move forward faster, better, and not be afraid of these really new, great, innovative companies.
Who are the right types of customers for you right now? Is it apartment developers? Is it owners? Is it management companies? And then are you also targeting the brokers as well? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
So our primary target right now is the multifamily developer.
Right.
We find that the forward-thinking multifamily developer who wants to stay really ahead of the curve loves Infinity. And they're not only using it for leasing, they're using it for pre-leasing. We have one company using it for construction, all sorts of various ways. But that is our primary focus. Now, from that, there are some realtors who have seen this and said, can we use this? And started using it on single-family home sales. Had tremendous success. And now we're working on a plug-and-play product we should have ready in the next month or so, where realtors could use it on single-family. So it's a little bit of a dual track. There are major institutional groups that put this on their office, and I am strongly encouraging my former office colleagues to embrace opportunity for new ways to market office space. But that's a little bit down the road as far as a target for us. Multifamily and residential is our biggest target right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Well, so we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to actually grab our next speaker in just a moment. So I'm going to put it on pause, but hang out here, and then we'll be right on back. So let me hit pause. Bring us back in. There we go. We're back in the show. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put this on. Go ahead and just put that wherever you'd like. Anywhere.
Let me see. Perhaps here. Yeah, that's good.
Let me lower it down a little bit. There we go. And I'll come back here. So it was fun to hang out last night. We were, and I was going to say, because you were here with, Silicon Valley Proptech Association.
Yes.
And NAR.
Yes, it's a double capacity.
You've got a lot going on. You're traveling the world. And we actually connected through Ravi.
We did. So
yes.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, Ravi. Oh, and
Ryan
Elizari.
Yes.
And Adrian,
and
Danila.
Adrian. That's right. So
all said I had to meet you, and here we are connecting and hanging out.
Yes.
So what's also very cool is we lived very close together in Dogpatch of San Francisco.
Right. It's a small world. But you moved away. You chose to move away. Too bad.
But you were traveling the world. So I'd love to hear a little about why you travel the world, what you're looking for, who you're collaborating with, and what the heck is the Silicon Valley Proptech Association?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So my ambition, and not only ambition, my goal actually, because it was a goal of helping developing Proptech real estate, Proptech ecosystems, throughout the world, like in Eastern Europe, for example, or Africa or Southeast Asia, to connect them to the capital resources and markets of United States through Silicon Valley, and also with Asia Pacific, because I do connect markets in Africa and Eastern Europe to Asia Pacific as well. And I'm talking about markets such as Singapore, Hong Kong, where there's a lot of innovation and a lot of capital, a lot of funding, and also because I realize that there are a lot of things being done throughout the world in other countries outside the United States with much less money, than we do here, right? And in many cases are much more efficient. And I think that these companies are great because they solve problems such as, money transfer in Africa that used to be prohibitive. It had really, really high, fees, or access to credit, for buying homes in many parts of the world. I mean, talking about informality of home owning and financing and all that cycle. So I really wanted to bring more connections and bring people to Silicon Valley to have that experience as well, just because Silicon Valley is the dream for everyone to achieve and to see, to touch. And I think that Silicon Valley is mostly a state of mind more than a place. And that was actually the idea. I am based in Silicon Valley, obviously. And that was the idea behind it. On top of that, I happened that I had the privilege for the last 3 years to be the global coordinator for NAR, which is actually a volunteer position. It's an ambassadorial position, honorary position. I am very thankful for. So I got to travel many wonderful countries and get to know a lot about those countries' real estate ecosystem and digitalization levels. And I'm talking about Eastern Europe, Middle East, Africa. Now I cover Eastern.
There we go. And head on back. Let's see. Flip. There we go. Okay, flipped on back. So that's wild. You mentioned you're going to Hong Kong soon.
Yes,
right?
I will be going to Hong Kong soon. Okay. Yes, it's true.
And so a lot of this is this education where you're leading discussions, you're training, you're sharing best practices, and you're also bringing back information?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that's very important. I think it's very important to bring back information that's very accurate for US-based founders and US companies who want to scale abroad.
Yeah.
I will discuss about that in a panel. I can't give away everything right now. You have to actually, you have to
come here to
exactly, very soon, just come attend our panel, with my colleagues. I'm very excited about this. Yeah. Bob is going to.
I'm excited. We got the CTO of Real, who's going to talk on, give a TEDx style talk in 30 minutes on AI,
which is amazing. I am also very excited about that. Yeah. But come see us, our panel, which will focus on global real estate and Proptech.
Right.
Because I think that is very important to know when you scale who to ask for the right information. There are a lot of resources within Reach and within NAR Global, and I think that you should utilize those resources.
Well, and it's so important to be. What I love and I'm focused on is bringing together the founders and innovators who are building these companies, the investors who have the capital to help them in the early stage to build it, and then of course the customers who can give feedback, utilize, continue to help them, and then push them out to the market even more. So, and spend money on it, right?
That's right. That's right. And I think that this is everybody actually has its own role, in this journey, and I think we all can bring a value, and definitely I think Proptech Buzz helps because brings all this stakeholders together.
Shout out to Ravi.
Shout out to Ravi, right? See, and also advertising, for Proptech Buzz. So thank you very much again. It was a pleasure to meet you here.
Thank you.
I appreciate your work and keep doing it, and I hope
to have you on again and do a one-to-one conversation a little bit deeper. Especially after your trip to Hong Kong and Eastern Europe.
I would love to.
I'd love to hear too, is what's the number one thing people can help you with right now?
Actually, I would be a good resource if they would like to come to me and to find information about other countries or about other venues where they could showcase their products. They are not necessarily strictly Proptech conferences, you know, that there are places where you can actually meet consumers, customers at the bigger scale. I think that we tend to go in other markets from the standpoint of a smaller startup company, but not exactly approaching a big player and trying to convince them about adopting certain innovations. I think that maybe that's what they should approach me about it, you know, in going to other places that they might have incorporated in the event a Proptech section.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you. We're going to take the mics off, and then we're going to go to the next person. So we'll be back
Thank
up in
you.
about...
Thank you so much.
All right, Robbie, we're hopping back in. Here we go. Just put that anywhere right there. Yeah, we'll just go for probably like 3 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Hopefully you're having fun. I know we're having fun. To make sure this is how we're doing here. There we go. Let me just double check this. This is one of our guests coming. Okay, there we go. Boom. There we go. All right, we'll turn it this way a little bit. How's it going?
Great.
Good.
Loving my time here so far.
Yeah, and so you're from across the pond.
I am indeed, yeah,
Where
from
do you live?
Australia.
Australia. What city, what town?
Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's got
I've never
a
been.
big bridge and an opera house, and it's quite nice.
Awesome. Can't wait to get over there and visit you all.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about, first off, I want to know name,
Yep.
your founder,
Yep.
company,
Yep.
and website where we can find you.
Yep. Absolutely. So I'm Michael Watson. I'm CEO and founder of Leasey, and so Leasey is the easy peasy way to sign a leasey in the residential market.
Okay.
So
L-E-E. Can you spell it out for us?
So I'll just zoom in on the shirt.
There we go. So zoom in on the shirt.
Where are we? We're going that way.
There you go.
So it's leesy.com.au. Now, it is only based in Australia at the moment. The reason I'm here is I'm part of the REACH program in Australia. So they've been very influential in our ability to create a product that really works not only for renters, but also for the agencies that we work with. And so I'm over in America at the moment, a bit of a fact-finding mission to understand what the differences between the two markets are. So Leasey, we position ourselves as the residential leasing pre-market. So this means we happen in front of any of the, ideally if we were in the Americas, it'd be before the MLS systems. So it's a unique positioning. The way it works is that renters actually pay us to help them find and secure their next rental property. So for that 4 to 6 week period, we're simultaneously finding their replacement.
So so you're solving the problem of when someone wants to move out and someone wants to move into that place at the same time, and you're constantly helping both sides. You're helping the owners, you're helping the person moving out, and you're helping people move in.
Absolutely. So it's kind of a one in, one out type of experience where renters get access to properties that haven't even hit the market, and then the property managers or owners and operators are actually eliminating any vacancy periods, and also just making it a streamlined process. So they reduce how much time they spend leasing, which frees them up to increase their profitability.
Very helpful. What have you found, obviously coming to the U.S., you're not launched in the U.S., you're just in Australia.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things you're thinking about when launching in a new market and that go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, it's just the business models on both sides of the market. So in Australia, the biggest difference really is that the buyers and sellers agents and the residential property managers are within the same business. They're very tightly coupled together. But whilst you come to the markets here, they are completely different businesses that operate very differently. Also, the distribution of the type of people that manage residential properties is different. So the multifamily in the US is way, way bigger of a percentage of the market than in Australia. In Australia,
here, like 40%, 50%, something like that?
It's huge, yeah. In Australia, it's probably less than 2%.
Wow, 2%.
Yeah, and so it from a tax, Australia has a different tax regulation, which incentivizes more mum and pop purchases, and also the residential property managers are more professional. So there's about 75% of all professional rental properties are managed by a professional property manager.
Thank you. Well, awesome. And what's been the most innovative thing you've seen here? Is there something interesting or a topic?
The topic really that I kind of liked was around the IP, developing an IP moat. It's definitely something we're interested in because there's a number of things that we're doing that are very unique to our space. And we want to probably leverage that to establish, a bit of a moat that we can defend in Australia and when we come over to the US as well. So that was definitely something more interesting. Pitch battles are always good to see what's going on and see a couple of the Reach companies in America being well represented there as well.
Yeah, and actually, if you can share a couple sentences about why Reach. How has Reach been beneficial to you?
Yeah,
been working with Ashley or Bob or the rest of the team. That you want to call out.
So my background and the background of a lot of the team is outside of the real estate space. So I spent 4.5 years in Silicon Valley, working for companies like Google, and then I followed my passion into the rental space. The reason we're passionate about it really is because we believe there's going to be a renting generation. It's no longer a transitionary period, and we want to create the best possible renting lifestyle. When we then looked and talked to the Reach team, they brought that domain expertise, a depth of understanding of who's who we should talk about the business and way to get it in front of agencies. And that's been invaluable in making our business that more aligned with the agency model, which is going to be critical to our success and scaling. So that's what we've loved about the program, as well as they call bullshit. If they see it, and that's really what you need as a founder. You don't want people pumping up your tires. You want people telling you, this may not work or this may not work, so that you can go and really validate whether or not that's true or false. So those have been the wins for us so far.
Great. Well, thank you for the time, man.
Lovely meeting you.
Have a blast while you're here and enjoy all the Chicago has to offer.
Absolutely.
See you definitely in Atlanta, Georgia soon. We'll have to host you down there. All right, and we're gonna mic up for the next person. So give us about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. We'll be right back. There we go. Thank you, my man.
No problem.
Cool. Added me. There he goes. All right, we're back on. All right, we're here with Alejandro with NAR. Thanks for joining me. Awesome summit. Awesome founders, investors, groups of people who know the industry like no one else. Love to ask, what are you working on? What are you excited about? We'll start there.
Thank you for having me, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here at IOI. I am the director of global strategy for the National Association of Realtors, and we have a very privileged overview of what's going on around the world. We are privileged to work with a network of over 100 partners in over 75 countries.
Wow.
The thing that excites me the most about being here is not only the possibility to tap into all these founders, all these great technology companies that are here, but also taking ideas that we can share with our partners. Because technology is certainly becoming a forefront for many of them. As you probably know, there's a bunch of marketplaces that are looking at the US to try to adopt solutions that are working here. They're trying to catch up and try to incorporate technology in their day-to-day operations. And I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of good ideas from the tech side to be able to add value to these partnerships. Because these partnerships at the end of the day are built to bring more value to our members. We have a bunch of international realtor members outside of the United States. And I feel like between that and the connections that we're building with Reach, specifically with the Reach program, which, as you know, is very international now.
Yeah.
I think we're driving a lot of innovation and forward-thinking ideas to our stakeholders outside of the United States.
Our last guest was from Australia.
Oh, that's
and so
awesome.
he's, at least they're looking at, they're only in Australia, where I think he said, he's looking at the U.S. and going and expanding. To your point, many people in the audience are oftentimes in other countries, or they're in the U.S. looking to expand. So, your reach, that's incredible. 70-something plus countries.
Yeah, we currently have I think it's exactly over 110 in 77 countries.
Okay.
And the beauty of that network, not only is one of the most curated and best real estate networks, globally speaking, that there are out there, but these guys are like-minded institutions. For lack of a better explanation, they're kind of like the NARs of those markets.
Yeah.
So we are building very strong relationships with market leaders, with local authorized voices in those specific marketplaces, and again, through those connections, I feel like we can bring a lot of opportunities to our members here in the US.
Yeah.
And at the same time provide opportunities for those stakeholders outside of the US to get to know better what's going on here.
Well, one of the things that really surprised me here, which is really exciting, and I obviously I'm here with NAR, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, which has a great relationship. The Hispanic Wealth Project, the diversity.
Absolutely.
We both talked about, you're from Madrid.
Yeah.
I went to school in Madrid many years ago. It was phenomenal. And that really opened up my eyes, traveling across borders, seeing different cultures, seeing different perspectives. And what I love here is you got a great variety of people from different cities, different roles. But then not only is it just brokers, but a lot of folks are investing in startups. They're either building in startups, they're advising startups, they're using them as a customer, they're making introductions, but then they're also giving them cash. And that's what I love about NAR and Reach, but even some of the other associations. So, are you seeing that more and more people are getting involved with these startups, and getting excited about it?
I definitely see that trend as well. I love the diversity that events like this bring to the table. Particularly for me, as the first time attending IOI, I'm really mind blown by the quality of the conversations that I'm having, the diverse backgrounds, the different experiences that people are telling me about. But one thing is forefront, and is we all know that there is a need for innovation to continue to drive the industry forward. And again, going back to the global portion of my role, the thing that excites me the most is that when it comes to selling and strengthening the value proposition that NAR has outside of the United States, particularly thanks to Reach and the great work that NAR is doing on this particular field, we're able to enhance our value proposition from our historic and traditional, okay, I got resources and assets for your members to do more business, get more educated on specific fields, to, hey, and by the way, now we have these incredible accelerator programs, like for example, Reach, where you can directly benefit from their knowledge, their expertise through specific alliances, and NAR is behind them. So that is always a seal of quality. And we have great case studies. We've built great case studies in many markets. Now, even in the UK, just so you know, every time Reach UK decides to invest in technology that they feel like meets their criteria, our bilateral partner, so our strategic alliance member in the UK, matches that investment.
Right. That's incredible.
I mean, that is driving this forward and bringing value to our members, which at the end of the day is our main goal.
Now, let me ask you about the membership itself, because I think the membership in the US is pretty large, but what's the worldwide membership of NAR?
So great question. We're 1.5 million member.
1.5 million.
In the US and overseas. Outside of the US, our numbers are currently slightly south of 8,000.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
So a ton of members. Membership is strong.
Membership is strong. I feel like, again, despite of craziness happening around the industry, our international members believe in what we do. We tend to complain and, think about this market and this specific situation as a bad one. But I'll tell you one thing. As somebody that was born and raised in Spain, was there for over 30 years, a bad scenario here is still much better than most of the best scenarios outside of our country.
Sure.
So I feel like that is something that is also, something to consider when it comes out. We're privileged to be in this marketplace.
And I think what's great is that NAR took a stance and is giving the industry a way to move forward, right? And so they're working on positive outcomes. They're giving resources, and that's one of the biggest things I've heard here is we have to arm people in business with resources. We have to arm consumers with resources. We have to give them playbooks to support them through a challenging thing, either buying a house, finding their next place to live, whether it's an apartment or a condo or a townhome or a home.
Resources, assets, tools, we're all about trying to add value added through resources that have a direct impact on our members' bottom line. I'll give you an example, and this is something that you like, because I know you speak Spanish.
Sure.
We did create this platform called NAR en Español back in 2018.
Wow.
And in that platform, we are curating and repurposing a lot of content that NAR already has, but that had never been adapted to the ever-growing Spanish-speaking membership that we have, and also to the Spanish-speaking consumers. I know you were mentioning NAR earlier, that they're here. We're here on their behalf. I mean, Hispanics are taking over in a way in terms of like home purchases in the United States. We like to think that NAR en Español is a platform that is adding a lot of value and helping our members do more business on that specific niche, which I think is important now, but it's going to become of paramount importance in the near future.
It's huge. I know one of the speakers a little bit, is from, we have folks here from all different countries, but, I've gotten to meet some people from India, some people from England, from Spain, from Latin America. So it's really cool to hear how influential and how impactful the organization has been. So thanks for spending some time. It was great to see you last night as well and meet a lot of the different teams. I'll also give a shout out the team at CAR, California Association of Realtors. Laura and Dave, because I guess Dave used to help put on this event. They're doing some really impactful things in California that stood out too. So and making some investments and some bets in some companies. So keep it up, and we hope to see you very soon. All right.
Gracias.
Thank you. Gracias.
Entonces,
All right, hold on one sec. There we go. Okay. Turn on the screen. There we go. Jason Riveiro. Here we are.
all right.
We're here live with Mr. Jason Riveiro.
How you doing?
I'm doing well at IOI Summit. Thanks for coming out.
Happy to
Jason
be here.
is very well connected in the real estate industry. He is the executive director at NAR, among many other things that he does. But Jason has an extensive history of being in leadership at organizations. So I'd love to hear a little bit about what you've done in the past, what you're working on right now at NAR. Maybe we talk a little bit about Latitude if you can too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So really quickly, my background has mostly been in multicultural areas. So multicultural consumers. So I started in marketing. So a few Fortune 500 companies, and then I went into the real estate space. It was actually the way I got into real estate was through NAR. I was doing some research online about homeowners, Hispanic homeowners, and NAR puts out a tremendous report every year. It's called the State of Hispanic Homeownership Report. It's probably the most recognized report out there in terms of the trends for Hispanics. And so I read it and then became a sponsor. Back when I was at Sherwin-Williams, people were still trying to figure out what the paint company was doing involved with realtors, but I saw certainly a connection and with their involvement in the home buying process, obviously. And then from there, I went over to a company called Anywhere, formerly Realogy. Now it's called Anywhere Real Estate, and you probably know it if you're in the industry. They're one of the largest residential real estate players in the space. So they own Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Sotheby's, Corcoran, a whole bunch of different brands there, Coldwell Banker. So, and then I came back to the mothership at NAR to lead our efforts here, and then we can hit on a few of the things that we've been working on together, right? Expanding a lot in terms of the Proptech space over these past couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's been a blast to be involved with it. Obviously, you have the big conference coming up. It's one of the best conferences of the year. NAR at Latitude.
Yeah.
It's funny because yesterday we were talking about it. Someone thought it was more advocacy. I'm like, well, it's actually a lot around investing. It's around thought leaders and cultural leaders like Tony Robbins. Barack Obama was a speaker. Obviously, you have Gary Acosta and Sol Trujillo and Oscar Munoz all leading sessions. Laura Moreno, Lucas Moreno. How would you describe it to people, who have never heard of NAR at Latitude before?
So, in our industry, unfortunately, a lot of events and organizations are always claiming, the best and the biggest.
Sure.
And so, and then you show up and it's like, not what you expected.
Sure.
We've not gone down that route, but I think after now 7 years of producing what we call Latitude, which is not just focus on what we're doing in the real estate space in terms of Latinos and their contribution to the economy, but the broader U.S. economy. And now whether, we're the driving force when it comes to household formations, when it comes to what's happening on the retail front, when it's happening in the music industry, entertainment, all these different sectors.
Estefans.
Yeah, the Gloria Estefan. Yeah, exactly. All are part
involved.
of that. Yeah. But now we've gotten it to a point to, last year we were close to 6,500 attendees.
Wow. And
so if I'm measuring that against other real estate conferences, I would say we're certainly up there. And so if you're not there, you're missing out. Yeah. And it's
you don't just have to be Latino.
No,
you
not
support
just
the Latino community.
Not at all.
You have CEOs of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, I think Wells Fargo, Redfin.
Yeah, so we're actually excited. We're going to have probably the first time the new CEO of Zillow is going to step onto as his role as CEO of Zillow, was formerly COO. We're going to have a powerhouse panel just when it comes to the real estate sector with Anywhere, the CEO of Anywhere, the CEO of eXp Realty, and Zillow. So three of the biggest real estate companies in the space right now. And then what we're doing on the other side of the house, yes, we've had all the CEOs of Wells Fargo, B of A, you name it, will be there. We've had CEOs of Nike, Uber. So we like to think of it creative, like if you see Davos or you have where you see a lot of CEOs come together, but in a larger scale. So we have more CEOs, I would think, than a lot of those conferences.
Yeah, I got to meet Orlando Bravo last year.
Yeah, Orlando Bravo,
real nice guy. Yeah. One of the top private equity investors of all time.
Exactly.
Spoke on stage. So
he doesn't tout this, but he's essentially also the wealthiest Latino in the country, right? So with what he's doing there, yeah.
He's not Warren Buffett, not a Latino, huh?
No.
Not Mark Zuckerberg. Okay.
You never know. You
never know.
Latinos come from all sorts of backgrounds.
All backgrounds.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what's maybe something that stood out here? I mean, you have a lot of partnerships. You're working with a lot of great organizations.
Yeah.
Maybe what are some things that stand out here, and obviously NAR.
Yeah.
Maybe you can talk about the partnership there.
Well, one, I want to attribute a lot of this kind of opening our perspective to you. We started down this journey knowing that we had a very engaged group of 45,000 members across the industry that were highly invested in real estate, obviously, as most real estate practitioners are, but we wanted to help them diversify their investing strategy. And in comes also the fact that we have a lot of founders, Latino founders, that need connection to capital, right? We knew that a small amount of capital actually goes to these founders, so we wanted to solve for that problem. So we accomplished both by creating this angel community that you've helped us develop, and at the same time broadening our scope and our partnerships. Reach was one of the first ones that we started working with. They helped us actually in the early onset to help myself and some of our staff here, Melissa, that's on our staff, to understand the day-to-day of networking, building a database, and forcing us to put on innovation showcases, right? Both virtually, doing pitches, and then at our national events. And I think that has gone really well, and that's opened up the space to partner with other organizations as well, and other events like Blueprint, and of course IOI that's being put on as well as a part of this. So that's what we're doing now, and we want to continue to expand the conversation. And thank you for what you've done.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and the San Diego cohort Melissa's putting on for some founders. So any founders, or if you know any founders building or in San Diego County in California, they can apply online, and they'll get access to the NAR event.
Yeah, exactly. So we're building out a 6-week accelerator program. Be intense, get in front of some really exceptional experts in the space, and so we're going to do that in San Diego. Hopefully, a few iterations of that there in the marketplace, and it's exciting. Good time to be involved.
And what else would you like to ask of those people out there, how they can maybe help you and help the team at NAR up right now?
Well, I think a lot of this is just connecting the dots, right? That organizations like this exist, that there are people focused on these types of areas. I think that sometimes it's not an intentional omission, of certain groups, or whether, I know we really focus on diversifying the industry and bringing in more diverse founders.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not having the networks or the connections, and I think we can help with that, and vice versa. We're learning, we're broadening the networks, and that's what we're doing for the founders as well. We brought a few founders came here as part of this partnership. We were able to provide them registration for them to come, and they're being exposed to a whole new group of people and individuals.
What's maybe the topic that you're most excited about? Obviously, there's discussion a little bit about AI, discussions around supporting the brokers, especially with challenges right now, and helping consumers with information and playbooks. What's something a space maybe you're most excited about?
Well, regardless of where you stand, I think in terms of what we've seen with the NAR settlement and commissions discussion, regardless of where you stand on the issue, I think at the end of the day, Proptech is going to be a tremendous solution. I look at this as an opportunity. There's certainly going to be a changing landscape, but I think Proptech can help solve the importance of re-emphasizing the importance of the realtor and their work that they do every day, but also streamlining and making sure that there's more transparency in the transaction. There's still a lot of unknowns, even though I think the U.S. is the model. I think that a lot of countries envy in terms of what we're doing for what we have with an MLS, and in terms of the transaction volumes and everything. But for overall, I think the consumer still lacks a lot of education. So we have a lot of work to do, and especially when it comes to those that are of different languages potentially, or different cultural settings, they're going to be the driving force of home ownership to the future, right? The first-time home buyer. We really have the wind at our backs here in terms of Latinos being the next wave of first-time home buyers, or the continued wave of first-time home buyers. And so we also want to educate the technology sector on making sure that they're developing technology that's not just for the typical U.S. consumer, but they're thinking globally. And I think this organization has this reach, and we can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think about the times as you're sharing about brokers. I found great value in my last 2 home purchases, both in San Francisco and Atlanta, that the brokers are the reason we got those homes. And I'm very serious about that. Like, there are specific things that they did and went out of their way and earned that commission that was very worthwhile. So I think you can always go a cheaper route, but you also want to make sure you're doing things right, especially in a complicated transaction. And maybe one of the largest transactions for most people in their lives. Right?
Absolutely.
So,
well, in San Francisco, I think it's a great example because you would think that at many of those price points, you would have a more sophisticated buyer. But it's not that they're not sophisticated; is that they understand that that's not their specialty, and that you leave it up to professionals that are in the real estate market. So you can't fake it for sure.
Well, definitely, and I'm looking forward to obviously Gary Acosta. Well, and can you share something else? Because Gary has founded several organizations. You work closely with Gary, but there's a new org that you and him and the construction.
Sergio. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure. Just a couple of sentences.
Gary is a visionary. He's always thinking ahead and figuring out where we can add value and maybe even replicate the success that we've had at NAR in terms of bringing business and culture together and having an extensive distributive chapter network. And so out of NAREP, we've seen organizations launch such as our foundation, the Hispanic Wealth Project. We also have Latitude that was launched out of NAREP about 7 years ago. We have, of course, this one that you just mentioned, so the National Hispanic Construction Alliance. As an opportunity, we went out into the marketplace. NHCA, yes. We went out into the marketplace, recognizing that Latinos are also the majority when it comes to construction labor for the workforce that's in the labor market. So, on NAREP, we're working on the sales side, but on the supply side, who's addressing that? Well, Latinos are in that sector very, very heavily as well. So we felt there was a need to help raise the capabilities, the capacities of Hispanic contractors so that they can bid for larger jobs and developments. And then also to advocate for them on a policy level. And so that was launched earlier last year. We have about 3 chapters now, 3 more in formation. And the last one is Avance, which is the advancement of Latinos in sports, essentially. And that is also a trade association focused on a lot of folks that are working not only just on the court, but also in the offices. A lot of Latinos in that space as well. So,
and the trades. The trades are very important. Exactly. Friend Adrian Danila, who's also here in the audience, he is very big into the trades. But I know we're moving to the next speaker, so give us about 10 seconds. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
So try to stay in frame. Perfect.
And we have a hot mic.
All right, we do. All right. Okay. So I want to hear a little bit about your company.
Yeah, Mr. Proptech.
Yeah. So this is Drew. We actually connected yesterday, and Drew was on stage presenting his company. You know about Proptech Buzz already?
I am learning about Proptech Buzz.
So we're streaming on Proptech Buzz. Ravi had actually recommended you as one of a few of the founders here that I had to see and learn about. Very cool presentation yesterday. I loved some of the metrics you shared, some of the stories you shared.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear first. Tell me a little bit about the company.
Okay.
Share the website with the people in the audience as well.
Yeah.
And then I'd love to hear the problem you're solving.
Okay, so I wish I was wearing my my TrustScout.real estate shirt. That was yesterday. TrustScout.com. .com. We also have .real estate.
Okay.
Great URL.
Yeah.
Everybody should pick up theirs. So what Scout actually does is we help automate outreach to targeted customer segments. So if you are trying to get in touch with a likely mover, a renter in a specific area, I brought up an example. A single person with a dog, which is a strategy that Marky Lemons actually recommended. We have a database of over 350 million people.
Yep.
We have demographic data points on all of them and information about the actual home. We create outreach lists, and then we create the templates to go out from the outbox, and then we manage how they're being sent. So what distinguishes Scout is our deliverability rate, 55% plus. Our engagement rate, somewhere between 3-6, we've seen as high as 18%. For comparison, 0.3% in direct mail, probably something similar for cold calling. So we're kind of blowing that out of the water. And I think the one
real number that I love to point out is that 72x ROI. So we've seen agents pulling in listings. You know, I think one agent had 7 within 6 months.
Wow.
So pretty good statistics there.
That's great. Well, and everyone right now needs tools to grow their businesses.
Yeah.
You know, this type of economy, you know, you're either, you know, investing. If you're not, you're falling behind.
Yes.
So you got to invest in tools, got to support yourself, got to grow your business, and then support customers as well. Sounds like you're obviously doing something right with the consumer, right?
We're trying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, on our consumer side, we mostly work with residential real estate agents and Proptech companies. They come to us because they need to target their consumer and they need to get their message out to ultimately either a homeowner or a real estate agent, or through the real estate agent to the homeowner. And everything is personalized. It's dynamic. It comes like, you know, one-to-one email. So it doesn't look like spam. It doesn't look like junk. It looks very informed and knowledgeable.
Great. Awesome. What is the number one thing that maybe stood out while you were here, besides your business, but maybe another sector or space that's interesting to you right now?
Oh my gosh, there's so AI.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm focusing a little bit of my energy and effort, trying to understand what's going to happen from a regulatory perspective. What are we going to be able to do? How are we going to be able to use AI legally so that we're not getting in trouble? And really, I think a lot of TCPA, a lot of phone calling, a lot of auto texting is going to be regulated.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's getting tough to tell, like with some of those AIs on the screen of the people.
Yeah.
You know, and even though I knew it was AI, you still felt like there was a person talking to you. It was better than nothing talking to you. So,
this is the worst AI is going to be, right?
Exactly. Anything you see today is going to be the worst. It's probably going to be any technology. And then, where are you based?
San Francisco.
Okay.
We are.
City, yeah.
Yeah,
We still live there. I love it.
Where were you?
I used to be in San Francisco in the Marina and Dogpatch.
Okay, great.
Now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So still fly out there to visit family. So.
Yeah.
Are you a remote team? Or are you?
We're totally distributed. Okay. Our service is U.S. based, so we don't service anyone outside of the United States. But our team is fully remote.
And then in terms of like new, partners, are there certain types of partners you're looking for right now out there in the audience?
Always. We're looking for great users, great use cases. We service, call it 95% residential real estate agents and brokers. 5% is probably Proptech companies, and we're now kind of building out for other use cases, other industries. Anybody who is trying to get through to a homeowner or to a real estate agent.
Awesome. Thanks for coming over and spending some time with us online.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll grab that. Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And then let me see if we've got one more person, Ravi, and we all right.
Where do I put this?
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, sure.
You guys do it separately.
Oh, just one person. All right. So, Daniel,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about what you're working on.
Yeah,
at the
sure.
company? To give us the name and then the website as well.
Yeah. I'm Daniel Woodbull.
Yeah.
I'm Vice President of Technology at Systato,
Great.
systato.com. We've recently rebranded, though we have been in the real estate space for over a decade now. We work with over 1,000 real estate brokerages and Proptech companies behind the scenes to help them drive profitability through a combination of some capabilities that we're really strong in.
Very cool.
Whether it's various back office support, tech support, supporting various technical staffing into these brokerages or Proptech companies, all those are sort of things that we do. We work on a framework, an integrate, automate, delegate framework, where we come in, we look at a process and we see how is it possible for us to make sure that this is running along smoothly. Can we do process improvement? Can we make sure that everything's talking to each other? Do we have all the right pieces in the right places? Then we automate. We figure out what can we do to reduce the amount of labor that's required. Then we delegate. We staff up managed global teams at a low cost to our clients and help them run these processes smoothly.
And how many? You're working with people all over the world, I assume?
Yeah, our team is completely global, entirely remote. I'm based in Texas. We've got even our leadership team. This is probably the third time that I've been together with these people in the same room.
Cool. And share maybe a little bit about maybe an innovative space that you guys are looking at.
Yeah.
Maybe some people that you're looking to partner with. What are the right types of people that you would partner with or work with?
Yeah, I mean, I would say anyone in the housing space that's got a process, that's got a few people on it, maybe that process is not functioning well. Maybe that process needs to cost a little bit less.
Yeah.
Real estate is in this pivotal efficiency or die moment right now.
Yeah.
And we are basically positioning ourselves to help brokerages, Proptech companies, other companies inside of housing run their businesses more efficiently to position themselves to be the ones that are here in 10 years and 20 years to survive long term. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. In terms of are you guys speaking later today or on one of the panels, or is there
not on the stage?
Okay. Is there a topic that you've seen that you're really excited about besides your business?
I mean, I think it's always very IOI, and I don't say this at every show. IOI is one of my favorite shows at the real estate conference because it's fun to see what people are working on. It's fun to see the passion that people have for innovation and working with the realtors. The Proptech industry has come a long way, and understanding that the realtors are the glue and that they're the ones who need to be empowered. I've worked in real estate brokerage for about a decade now, and I know how important it is to just empower the realtors to be the super agents, the ones that are able to weather these changes and be the trusted advisors to the consumers, but do it more efficiently to be able to weather this upcoming moment that we're in real estate right now. I think the real estate industry is going to look a fair amount different 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And I think the Proptech industry is going to be a big part of what it is to empower the agents.
Yeah. We actually have our next person will come on in just a moment. So Melissa, we're
back to back.
Yeah. And okay, great. Well, I appreciate it. And this will be on Proptech Buzz. Have you been on the platform before or heard of it?
I don't think I've been on Proptech Buzz before.
Yeah. So it'll be available on there. There's a whole chat.
Yeah.
And,
well, now I'm on Proptech Buzz.
Especially the fact
hey, everyone.
Especially now that you work worldwide. They have people all over the world, which is great.
That's awesome.
So, awesome. Well, thanks very much for engaging and hanging
Thanks
out.
for having me. Nice to hope to run into some more of you guys.
I'm
good to see you, Proptech Buzz.
Give us about five seconds and then mic up the next person. We'll jump straight into it. And here we go. So come on over, Melissa. There we go.
Hi,
Center it
everyone.
up. Let me move it down like that. And there we go. That's a little bit better. I'll move it towards you. There we go. All right. So welcome, Melissa.
Thank you.
If you can share a little bit about what you're working on with Hispanic Wealth Project. Love to share that with the audience. We have the whole Proptech Buzz audience here in the streaming room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to share this space with everyone. I serve as the Senior Program Manager for the Hispanic Wealth Project, which is the foundation to NAR. So we are committed to helping our Latino community advance their generational wealth and really build it through 3 core pillars. So that's sustainable homeownership, business growth and access to capital, and wealth diversification. So we do a lot of really great work to help more people come into the angel investing space. We have an angel community where we connect our members with keynote speakers who are leading the investment space and VC firms. So they receive great content. They're able to tap into their networks, and they also bring deals to evaluate them as a community, so that we can connect founders with more access to capital.
Awesome. Yeah, and giving mentorship, being customers, giving support, their experience. Some great speakers in there. Love to hear, obviously you got a big event coming up. Well, maybe sharing, you got the big event coming up in San Diego. So can you share a little bit about the work you're doing there, and maybe what you're excited about for that event?
Absolutely. So we'll share a bit of a sneak peek here with the audience. We are actually launching an accelerator program as part of the Hispanic Wealth Project, which is going to be launched there in the event in San Diego. So we're working with local companies there and founders who are going to come to the event, get a curated agenda so they can meet with investors, they can build their network, and jump into some of those important conversations that are happening around capital there at the conference. So we're going to be kicking off that program. We have a few other surprises when it comes to the Hispanic Wealth Project. So our audience members are going to just have to come and join us to
What
learn
are the
more.
dates again? September?
So that's going to be September 12th through the 15th in San Diego.
Okay. 12th to the 15th in San Diego. And I think the keynote is
We
Tony
have
Robbins?
a couple of really special people coming up, but yes, Tony Robbins will be there. It's an amazing opportunity to get up and close to an incredible leader that we oftentimes don't have that access to, and NAR gives it to you. So we hope to see everyone there.
Awesome. And then, for here, like IOI, I saw Hispanic Wealth Project on the screen. What's that like, the relationship with Reach and NAR and the IOI Summit? Can you share a little bit about that? Is this your first time? Have you been there before?
So it's my first time. I am blown away by the event. It's been an amazing experience. I've gone to meet such incredible founders here and innovators. And in terms of the relationship that we have, so part of the work that we do focuses around business growth and really that support for founders. So not just through the angel community, but we've been able to build out a network of support for founders to access different opportunities, and this is one of them. So we're able to bring some of our founders into this space so they can meet with others and expand their network.
Awesome.
We also have our NAR Breach Labs, which is a partnership with Second Century Ventures, where we're connecting Proptech startups to our network of over 45,000 NAR members.
Yeah. I think you were working with Andrew Ackerman there, right?
Yes, yes. Andrew's been incredible in guiding us through that program.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, I'm excited to see the special surprises. I got to make sure if a founder wants to apply, what do they need to do to apply for that cohort?
Yes, so you're going to want to go to hispanicwealthproject.org/accelerator. If you go onto our website, you'll see all the details there. We have very few spots remaining, but the applications are still open, so make sure you submit them by this Friday. And we have some incredible opportunities for you planned, not only in San Diego, but following the event, you'll be able to participate in great sessions to really help you expand and grow your business. So we're really excited for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming out and for spending time with us. And those in the audience, feel free to ask your questions below. I will make sure and go in there in the chat later. And we're going to get back to the conference because the Equity Angels event is about to start up in just a few minutes. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right. And Ravi, I'll go in the room. Yeah, we're in the show. That's everyone we've got. So we're going to head into the Equity Angel section now. I'll hang out for a few minutes.